So it's not only traumatizing for the person who is murdered, but it's traumatizing for all the people that are around it to deal with the aftermath. And that's the other reason why they do it, to shut the person up. That was kind of a wake-up call. That one was a wake-up call for me because of the fact that I was planning to go ask him about the white van incident. So that leads me to believe that the white van is really important somehow. Moving on, I have a bunch of stuff on here. Right around the time in my life where I got the phone call from my mother saying I should date men for money, which was bull crap, that wasn't her. Right around that same time, there was a bunch of other things that happened. That was around the same time the gang stalking first started. That was around the same time that there was this time when I think that I was raped, although I have absolutely no memory of it. I don't think I know. But I have absolutely no memory, and I hadn't gone anywhere, so somebody had come into my apartment and raped me somehow, and I have no memory at all of that. But I know that I was raped in that apartment. Around that same time, there was a helicopter. There was an incident where I fell asleep or something, and then I woke up and there was the sound of a helicopter on my roof, not flying over my house, but on my roof. And then there was a bunch of other weird stuff, like my apartment manager was saying that there was a guy on the roof with a sword, and just a bunch of really weird stuff. I had a time anomaly in 2001, in February of 2001. It was on the same day that the Columbia Space Shuttle crashed. At that time in my life, I didn't have, I didn't have DVDs back then or anything. And I remember we didn't have DVR or anything like that. So I remember I used to record television shows with an old-fashioned VHS tape. And I would just record the television shows on these 2-hour-long VHS tapes. And I would record the shows that I liked, and then I'd watch them later on, when I got home or whatever. And anyway, this one Saturday night, I was, and I think it was around February 1st, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact date that the Columbia Space Shuttle crashed, but I'm pretty sure it was I think that's when it was. But anyway, it was a Saturday night, and I was watching my television show that I had recorded, and it was about UFOs. And it was particularly about the Roswell crash. And they were showing these pictures. They were interviewing all these people that were first-hand witnesses of the Roswell crash. And strangely enough, for some reason, it wasn't the disinfo that we normally hear about how they found all these dead aliens. Instead, these people were claiming that there were children at that crash. It wasn't aliens, it was children that was there. So that was kind of weird because I'd never heard that story before. And so they showed this one picture of the children, and I looked at it, and there was this one kid. I swear to you, he looked identical to the kid I was in junior high school, that I went to junior high school with. The same kid that works at Paramount. Remember I told you about that? How there was a kid that ended up working at Paramount that I went to school with me in Alaska? The same kid. I saw a picture of the children, supposed children that were found at the Roswell crash in New Mexico in 1947. One of those children looked identical to the way that guy looked when he was in junior high. And not making this crap up. I freaked so hardcore. I freaked. I was just like, this is freaking weird. This is so freaking weird. And I freaked out. I freaked out that night that I was watching it. Well, then I fell asleep. I turned off the VCR. And I remember this specifically. I turned off the TV. I ejected the VHS tape from the TV because I had one of those TVs that has the VHS in it. And I went to sleep. And then the next morning, I got up. I turned the TV on. And it seemed like every channel was talking about the Columbia Space Shuttle crash. And they were just going on and on about it. And I was like, wow, oh my God, the space shuttle crash. I didn't even know there was a space shuttle leaving. I wasn't even paying attention. I wasn't into that stuff at that time. Wasn't really paying attention. I was just kind of like living the whole, sheeple thing, I guess. Kind of half there, half not. I mean, I knew there was weird stuff going on, but I was trying not to know that weird stuff was going on. Anyway, so I'm watching a space shuttle, Columbia Space Shuttle crash and all this stuff, and they kept saying, they had the date on the news, right? And they kept saying it was Saturday. And I'm like, what the hell? Why do they keep saying it's Saturday? I mean, why they're off. Their times are off. What's wrong with them? So I would like change the channel. And then the other channel kept saying it was Saturday. Like, what the hell? It's not Saturday, it's Sunday. And I've never in my life have I done that. Never. I mean, yeah, it's normal to like, when it's, sometimes you feel like it's Monday, when it's not Monday, that kind of thing. But it's not that you actually think it's Monday and it's not. And maybe some people have done that. Personally, for me, never in my life have I done that before or after that event. So I had a time anomaly. There's no doubt in my mind that that was some kind of time anomaly. Because it was supposed to be Sunday. And the thing was, I was busy. I was working. It wasn't like I got my days mixed up. And even I've had periods in my life where I wasn't working, and I still didn't get my days mixed up like that. I always know what day it is. I always know what day it is. So it was supposed to be Sunday, but for some reason it was Saturday. So I called time. I was like, this is weird. This can't be right. These people, these news broadcasts, they're wrong. It's not Saturday, it's Sunday. So I called time, and sure enough, Saturday. They all said it was Saturday. So I'm freaking out. Really freaking out. Really, really, really. I mean, I could sit here and say really about 100 times and still not catch the feeling that I had. So I went to bed Saturday night and woke up Saturday morning, basically. Alright. One other thing about that space shuttle crash. Sorry about the noise. One other thing about that space shuttle crash is that when I was watching the news footage of it, there was this large spherical thing that it was steel colored, and they had said that it was a piece of the space shuttle, but I went on the space shuttle site and I didn't see anything that I went to look and see what the parts are on a space shuttle, and there wasn't any parts that looked like that. I mean, it was huge. It was like the size of a shed. It was really big, and it was just this round ball. It was a round steel ball. But like I said, it was huge. I mean, it was taller than the tree. And then I only saw it one time, and then when the news footage went back to that spot, it was just a black spot in the grass. and they had moved it. They had moved that thing real fast. They went and got that and got rid of it real fast, because I only saw it one time. I couldn't figure out what that was, and I was like, there's something going on. They're not telling us what's going on, but there's something else going on besides the space shuttle. And I just knew because of that, because of my own time anomaly, and because of that steel ball that I saw that I quickly removed and never tried to say it was spatial debris, but it wasn't. I don't know what the hell happened. But the other thing was, then I went to finish watching that UFO show, and remember, I had ejected the tape. So I pushed the tape back in, and my tape was queued like 2 hours beyond that UFO show. You know what I mean? Like, I had recorded a bunch of shows on like a 2-hour-long tape or something. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It was more like a 4 or 6 hour VHS tape. And my tape was, instead of being left off at that exact spot that I had left it at, it was like 2 hours ahead of that. That was just really, really weird. And then the other thing, and that freaked me out too, because I knew for a fact that I had stopped that tape right there, because I wasn't done watching that show. And I ejected the tape. And then the other thing was, there was like a MUFON, you know, one of those UFO agencies in that town that I was living in, and they were saying that there was that they had detected a radar anomaly that same night. Because I went there, I was trying to figure out, I was like, I wonder if anybody, and sure enough, they were like, yeah, we discovered a radar anomaly that night. And there were other things that happened when I lived in that apartment. Like I had like the electric shocks that happened. And then I had a weird dream about like these Ewok looking like things. But that was just a dream, so I don't really know. Anyway, so that was one of the things. Okay, so there was a boyfriend that I had right after I left Los Angeles. I was living in this other town I told you about, and I dated. There was a guy that I had dated in this town that went to my college, and I dated him. Who, you know, I really thought I was gonna marry him. So stupid. I look back on my life and I think every single guy I dated, I truly, honestly believed that we were gonna get married. So stupid. Because I never got married. They control my entire life. They'd only let me marry somebody they want me to marry. They've ruined like every relationship. Anyway, I was dating this guy, but this is a really, really weird story. I can't figure this out. It's so weird. So I met this guy at college. And, you know, I'd kind of seen him around before we started dating. I'd kind of seen him around. And I'm not going to, like, use his name. So, I'm just, you know, just so you know, I don't do that. So, anyway, but before, the first time I ever saw him, I was sitting, I was being gang stalked, and I knew that I was being gang stalked. I didn't know what gang stalking was back then. I just knew that these people were following me around. They were harassing me. Like, there was this guy in the library at the college, and he was talking about Hollywood, and he wanted to interview me about my experiences in Hollywood, and they were like, it's just gang stalkers, people that were following me around. After I left Los Angeles, and I just couldn't get away from it. I had a nervous breakdown, basically. I was literally sitting on this bench at the college, bawling my eyes out. Like I just lost it. Like I just completely lost it. And that was the first time I ever saw this guy that I dated. It was the first time I ever saw him, and he walked right past me, and I was just like, I just remember seeing him, and the way he looked, and I can't describe it, the way that he looked